explorers, before we set off, grab a glass of water. You'll see why in a moment. Will you survive? Let's dive in. Picture this. It's the middle of a summer heat wave. You're on a road trip, but your car has broken down. You find yourself stranded in the middle of nowhere. No cell phone reception, no one passing you by. You've dug around to find half a bottle of water in your car. Do you wait by your car, or do you decide to walk to the nearest gas station? Choice made. You take your bottle, lock the car, and start walking. 3, then 4 hours pass as you start to struggle to put the next foot in front of the other. You find yourself stranded in the heart of the blazing desert-like road. The vast, barren landscape is enveloped in haunting silence. Minutes stretch into what feels like endless hours as the relentless sun pounds you mercilessly with its scorching rays. Your eyes no longer water, your tongue dry as the asphalt you walk on. You take that last gulp of water, which barely wets your parched throat. Your head is throbbing, and your brain begins to get confused. Are you walking the right way? Was it the other way? Sweat beads down your face, and as you stick your tongue out to catch it, the salt only makes you more thirsty. Exhaustion and dread wash over you when suddenly you fall to your hands and knees. Yikes! Let's stop there and take a sip from our own glass of water just to be safe. Don't worry, you made it in the end. If this sounds like the worst case scenario to you, well, you're right. Something as simple as this can potentially be a life-threatening scenario. Has this got you wondering, how long can I survive without water? Why is it so vital for human existence? Well, take a sip and let's dive into the depths of the human body to unravel the significance of this life-sustaining element. The human body is, on average, about 60 to 70% water. 2/3 of this water resides within your trillions of cells, while 1/3 is outside. Amazing, right? Of this total water, bones contribute around 20%, while your skin, liver, and muscles each contribute 70 to 75%. Your heart and lungs contribute 75 to 80% each, and your kidneys and brain contribute 80 to 85% each. Additionally, blood plasma contains a staggering 90% water. Keep in mind, your body continuously loses water in various ways, through urine and feces, sweat, and even the moisture in your breath. To counteract this loss, it's absolutely essential to regularly hydrate. Drinking water and consuming foods rich in water content are the most effective ways to replenish your body's water levels. Not with alcohol, though. Consuming alcohol can actually make things much, much worse. It can lead to increased urination and disrupt your hydration balance. If you don't properly replace the water you lose, you risk encountering the unwelcome effects of dehydration. Think back to your days as a microscopic VIP in your mom's belly, where you were essentially a tiny aqua creature rocking a splashy 95% water composition. Flash forward to the present, and it's a different story. As we grow older, our water levels drop faster than your phone's battery on a busy day. By the time we're as wise, wonderful, and wrinkly as our grandparents, we're basically half-empty water bottles with only about 45 to 55% water. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Hydration is the real fountain of youth. Here are some more cool facts. Your mom probably has less water than your dad, and the skinny Mr. Crocker likely has more water than our fat Albert. Wondering why? Human bodies with a higher percentage of fat tend to have lower water content because fatty tissue does not retain water, and women's bodies require additional fat stores because they are designed for having babies. These fat reserves are essential for both fetal development and breastfeeding. Factors such as age, gender, and body composition influence the total water level in your body, and these can vary significantly from person to person. Now we know why women, the elderly, and obese individuals are more at risk of dehydration. So, are you now wondering why water is so important to the human body? Water permeates every cell, nourishing them from inside out with nutrients and oxygen, fueling them with energy while also transporting toxins away. It helps our bodies regulate its core temperature, allowing us to sweat when we get too hot. Your organs, such as your brain, heart, and lungs, are all protected and nourished by the hydrating layers that surround them. Your joints need lubrication to move and function well, for absorbing the shock when you walk. Imagine how stiff and sore you would be if this were not the case. And your eyes. Not only do they need lubrication for protection, But imagine if you could not cry when watching your favorite sad film. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? Water is indeed a liquid treasure. It plays a crucial role, from breaking down energy stores to eliminating wastes and toxins. When you pictured yourself walking down that lonely hot road, did you wonder what might have been happening inside of your body? As your body scrambles to conserve water, saliva is the first to go, leaving your mouth as dry as a desert. Tears refuse to form no matter how much you may want to cry. Your kidneys go into conservation mode too, reducing urine output, which now resembles the color of amber or dark coffee. You'll notice you're sweating less, which leads to an increase in body temperature, causing your skin to be uncomfortably flushed and overheated. As your body's water levels continue to drop, your blood thickens, slowing its flow and making your heart work harder to pump oxygen to the vital areas of your body. This results in rapid, deep breathing and an increased heart rate, all red flags signaling the urgent need for rehydration. But what happens if rehydration isn't possible? Your body enters a critical state. Kidney function severely declines, potentially leading to a condition known as anuria, where urine production stops. This can cause a buildup of salts, which leads to kidney stones, as well as the retention of toxins, which further damages the kidneys. As dehydration progresses, blood volume reduces, depriving cells, including brain cells, of essential nutrients and oxygen. This deprivation leads to symptoms like fatigue, dizziness, and confusion. Your cardiovascular system strains under the pressure, manifesting in low blood pressure and an irregular heartbeat. Prolonged dehydration can even cause your arteries to stiffen, increasing the risk of heart failure and seizures. It's a stark reminder of water's critical role in our health and survival. Still, the persistent question lingers. How long can a human survive without the liquid elixir of life? Rander K. Palker, the professor of biology at George Washington University, says, "Well, there is no straightforward answer to this mind-boggling question, as varying factors come into play." He further adds, "Under the most extreme conditions, death can come in rather a few hours. However, an adult in comfortable surroundings, in contrast, can survive for a week or more with no or very limited water intake." Many factors determine how long you will live without water before your body gives up, such as the climate and temperature you're in, your age, your sex, your level of activity, your levels of fat stores, and even the kind of food you had been eating most recently. Does that make sense? The ability to go without water can vary greatly between individuals. The longest recorded instance of someone going without water involved Andreas Mihevich, an 18-year-old Austrian bricklayer. In 1979, he was inadvertently locked in a police cell for 18 days when the officers on duty completely forgot about him. This extraordinary case earned a place in the Guinness Book of World Records. Here's another gripping survivor story. 2 months into a solo expedition at the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe, Chaz Powell, an expedition guide from Shropshire, UK, faced the daunting challenge of enduring a life without water during the hottest time of the year, with the temperatures soaring to 122 degrees Fahrenheit. "I can't describe how thirsty I was," recalls Powell. He had to dig a hole in the soil and bury himself in order to stay cool. And in the desperate attempt to survive, he even drank his own urine. Chaz was lucky enough to reach water resources after enduring 10 hours of mad thirst and consequences. Bear in mind, when it comes to survival, it's ideal to adhere to the rule of 3. 3 minutes without breathing, 3 hours without shelter in an extreme environment, 3 days without water, and 3 weeks without food. Chaz's frightening experience taught him just how precious water is. "I certainly don't take it for granted anymore," he says. Good idea. What about you, survivors?